Well, a couple of weeks ago, had this game gone ahead, it was going to be a case if you win the toss, defend the deep end. I'm glad to say that Ravenhill is pretty well dried out. Lynn Jones has made a couple of changes up front. Matthew Screech has come into the second row, and on loan from Bristol is the 34-year-old former Scots tight head prop Bruce Douglas. A couple of changes too behind the scrum. No Jason Tovey. Stephen Jones plays at number 10, and Ross Wardle, who played here a year ago, is on the left wing. Well, the Dragons did Ulster something of a favour last week by disposing of one of their challenges for a top 4 space, the Glasgow Warriors. Likewise, Munster beating the Ospreys. But you can't afford to let other people do you favours. You've got to take matters into your own hands. And another packed house here at Ravenhill, and well, the brand new stand is looking absolutely splendid, and it's not too far from being completed. Callum Black starts in the front row ahead of Tom Courtney, and Henderson released by Ireland. Partners Johan Muller in the second row, and the back row plays together as a unit for the third game in a row. Dyack, Wilson and Sean Doyle. Well, most notably, Tommy Bowe returns for his first game since last November. 12 matches he's missed. Rory Scholes starts for the first time. Rowan Pienaar moves back to scrum half, and Paddy Jackson is at number 10. Tom Court and Paul Marshall, notable in the Ulster replacements. And no Jason Tovey, a late cry-off. Lewis Roebling deputises for him. Lloyd Linton, first time here at Ravenhill from the Scottish Rugby Union, refereeing only his third league game.
Okay, right, lads in position. Time on.
Stephen Jones. Has that gone 10 metres? I don't think it has, you know. And that's not the start that young Stephen Jones would have wanted.
Scrum, or you can have it again.
Whoops. First scrum then to Ulster, and that was a shades of Johnny Sexton at Twickenham last week.
Very much so. Ulster will be looking to set the stall out early this evening, play with some fire in the belly. As Bryn said earlier on, it's accuracy at set piece, Jim, that's going to set the ground for a good performance this evening.
Ulster just a little bit heavier, a couple of pounds a man. Both packs averaging in at about 17 stones. Rowan Pienaar back to scrum half, having played number 10 against Treviso in Italy last Sunday. Quick turn round this for Ulster, controlled by Roger Wilson. Pienaar, Jared Payne, gets outside his man quite sweetly. Dyack in there quickly. Quick ball now for Ulster, taken on by Ian Henderson across the 10-metre line, and again the race is quick. Jackson, Luke Marshall, bit loopy. Cave in such good form, scoring tries for fun at the moment. Penalty against the Dragons.
You got to release him. Thank you.
Interesting start there by Darren Cave, making the move inside, and possibly when Dragons a little bit harshly done by. Ashley Smith very strong over the ball, as we see here. Maybe didn't quite release the player on the deck, and the referees made an early call in Ulster's favour.
Well, Ulster will be happy with that, and Rowan Pienaar, incidentally, has indicated that he's going to go for the Dragons post, and this will be an early boost for Ulster. So any thoughts about Paddy Jackson doing the goal kicking? I think it's been very quickly dispelled. Pienaar's been in such splendid form with the boot this season. This is 50th league game tonight, and he's fast approaching the 500-point mark. Final little glance up by Rowan Pienaar. Good strike, hardly any backlift. Is that going to carry? Wow, what a splendid strike by Rowan Pienaar. And the perfect start for an Ulster side that not only is looking for a win, was maybe looking for a bonus point win. We'll worry about that as and when. But what a good kick, Tony.
Yeah, lovely kick, and I don't think people at home really estimate or underestimate how poor the quality of the surface is as well. It's very sticky. That planting foot, very, very important whenever it comes to getting an adequate strike on the ball. Super start from Pienaar.
3 minutes gone, 3-0 up. This time the kick does go the 10 metres, well taken in by Rory Scholes. His first competitive start in an Ulster senior jersey, one of the stars of the Irish Junior World Cup squad last summer. That's a heck of a kick. Oh, well gathered in though. Forward ball for the Dragons. It was Richie Reese, the only cap player behind the Dragons scrum, setting it up for his forwards. Reese again. Robbie Dack with the tackle for Ulster. Well away by Richie Reese. Stephen Jones tries to move it wide. This is Ashley Smith, the Dragons skipper, gets up to halfway. Good quick ruck ball. Nick Cudd, not the biggest open side in the world, but very good sevens player and very effective with ball in hand. Jones has to check a little bit. Well covered by Pienaar. Now he has Scholes outside him. Across the halfway line by Pienaar. Paddy Jackson has to go in and do the flanker's job. Ian Henderson at scrum half. Callum Black preferred in the starting front row to Tom Court. Well away by Herring. Luke Marshall. Better stuff by Ulster. Not so good. Still there though, Darren Cave. Ulster still inside their own half. Pienaar. Well, he saw there was nobody at home there for the Dragons, but all the way back goes Rhys Jones. Son of former Welsh international Kingsley Jones, taken quickly though by Ulster. Pienaar says, I'm going to kick. Somebody chased. Now there's nobody chasing at the moment apart from Dyack. Oh, that's spilled. Good work by Dyack. Referee playing advantage to Ulster.
No advantage.
And Lloyd Linton telling the Dragons to let it come, and no advantage to Ulster. A lot of kicking, Tony.
Yeah, there is a little bit. It's also nice to see Ulster playing with intent, Jim, of moving the ball wide. We've hit both the flanks quickly in this game, but more importantly for me is whenever the Dragons have had the ball, there's intent and there's purpose in our defence. We're getting off the line, we're knocking them down behind the gain line, and certainly in Treviso that didn't happen for 80 minutes, never mind one.
Well, Robbie Dack just showing the virtue of a well-organised kick-chase game. Pienaar kicked, and Dack chased. Coming up to 6 minutes gone, Ulster 3-0 up. Lloyd Linton not happy with the scrummage. Nigel Correll and John Carwell, both from the rugby, from the RFU, are the assistants. Peter Ferguson's the TMO, and former referee Gordon Black is the sighting commissioner. Good scrum by Ulster. Tommy Bowe, not too far away. Good to see him back. 12 games he's missed from in an Ulster jersey. Robbie Dyack, who's having a very good season. Jackson, Payne, almost ghosted through a gap that didn't seem possible. Pienaar again. Roger Wilson. Only missed one matchday squad all season. Pienaar again. Dyack. Good intensity by Ulster. Jackson. Cave. Oh, very nearly for Tommy Bowe. If he'd held that, he might have been in under the sticks. Clever move, mind you. You can see the sense in it.
Yeah, there is. Interesting as well to see the Dragons. There's an awful lot of pressure being put on by Pat Leach at 13, really hitting in hard. He's obviously seen quite early that Ulster are looking to move the ball. Tommy's just unlucky there, a little bit of rustiness, but he looks very sharp.
Jackson, nice flat pass, a lovely little sweep, two-handed by Darren Cave. Maybe just a little bit too much on it. Wry grin by Tommy Bowe. Since we last saw him play here, he's turned 30. Is he a veteran at this stage, Tony?
Still has those boys' good looks, doesn't he?
Time on.
No, I think he's a veteran in terms of his experience, Jim, but he's still there's a lot of miles and a lot of years still left on Tommy's clock. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Yeah, Triple Crowns, Grand Slam, 2 Lions tours. Not much he hasn't achieved. If you'd like a title with Ulster, though.
Crouch!
Nice and dry here at Raven. I can spot a couple of chaps just fortifying themselves. I'm sure that's not iced tea in that flask. Richie Rees, capped 9 times by Wales. Good Ulster scrum, but they've got it away. Stephen Jones has given it a fair old thump. Jared Payne is played 4 times at centre this year, and that's a good strike. Good ground made though by the Dragons.
Yeah, nice bit of heat put on by Callum Black, the Ulster loosehead there, and once the ball popped out, unfortunately it was Nick Cudd who was first to react, showing good skills, being able to pick and swoop, get the pass away in one movement, and a fine relieving kick as well by the Dragons.
Good strike by Jared Payne. There was a little word from the 34-year-old Bruce Douglas to his fellow international T. Rees Thomas from Wales. That's nicely done. Richie Rees. Stephen Jones into a bit of space. Well taken by Scholes. Just hesitated and paused for a little bit rather than hesitated. And that's worked out nicely for him. He read it well. Pienaar. Paddy Jackson. That was passed back inside the 22. Rhys Jones gathers.
Out of it, blue!
Little stab with the left foot. Well covered by Tommy Bowe. Jackson.
Stay there, 3.
Well covered once again by the Dragons.
Leave him!
Stephen Jones has given it plenty of height. Bowe.
Roll away!
Pienaar. Now this is interesting. Away they go to Scholes, back inside to Jared Payne. I think that just went forward, did it? Referee's playing advantage, back on the Ulster side. And nudged forward by a blue hand, it seems, and Ulster get to put into the scrummage.
Yeah, nicely read by Pienaar. Ball coming inside, spots the big blind side, and the long ranging pass finds Jared Payne, and once again he's able to get over that gain line and get his hands through the tackle, something he does exceptionally well.
Well, apologies to Luke Marshall. It was he and not Rory Scholes who took it on down that wing. Well, that's nice, a bit of a smile there. I thought it was going to be a frowny evening, but it's not.
Keep square, 1 wide, okay? Thank you.
Luke Marshall still hoping to be involved at some stage in the current Six Nations campaign with Ireland, having started the season with the game against Scotland. 10 minutes gone, 3-0 to the home side. Jackson, flat ball to Cave. He was well tackled by the Dragons skipper Ashley Smith. Jackson, all the way back goes Rhys Jones, and he gathered it nicely. Spent most of the season being involved with the Welsh Sevens, and who's that rushing back? It's Ian Henderson. He's tackled outside the 22. Pienaar there quickly. Not a lot of room for anyone to be doing any kicking. This is Johan Muller, Ulster's captain, leading the side tonight for the 65th time.
Taken inside.
Pienaar stepped back inside the 22, so he knows he can't kick directly into touch. Richie Rees. It's the number 8, Lewis Evans.
First man, it's okay.
Rees is waiting. It's a slow ball though for the Dragons. Stephen Jones. Was that knocked backward by Matthew Putner? One of just a couple of players actually born in Newport itself, taken on by the loosehead Owen Evans, who's a big unit, and away goes Jevon Groves. And here's Richie Rees, and he couldn't hold it. Well, a big hole suddenly appeared there, Tony.
Yeah, there will be, and that'll be worrying for Mark Anscombe and the coaching squad. It's somewhere where Ulster have been at deficit all season, around that ruck and ball, not getting the pillar and post there off the first play. We see Diak make the tackle, but it's Callum Black that gets caught too wide. A good play by Groves, stays on his feet, gets the offload away. Richie Rees will be disappointed there, because that really should have been meat and drink to him.
A huge gap was made available to Jevon Groves. Like so many of this Newport Gwent Dragons side, played underage rugby for Wales from under 16s all the way up to under 20s.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Scrub's slowing round a little bit, and the referee will not allow Pienaar to put the ball in until it's settled. On the tight head side for the Dragons, Bruce Douglas.
Really good. Okay, let's keep it like that.
Been playing in Bristol, and of course with the 1 or 2 injuries and the suspension of their Argentinian prop forward Chaparro, who got, I think, 10 weeks for a nasty spear tackle on Isaac Boss when they played Leinster a few weeks ago. They're a bit short, and they've even got Duncan Bell, who's nearly 40 years of age, former Bath in England, front row forward. He's on the bench.
Set.
Well, the brass band striking up. Let's see if Ulster can respond. Well, they've started with a good scrum. Roger Wilson, as ever, controls. Jackson, not a great pass from Pienaar, not a great kick from Jackson. Knocked back by Tommy Bowe, well taken in by Luke Marshall. Pienaar, Ian Henderson. Made a decent bit of ground. Pienaar again, Jackson. This is out Muller. Payne. As for Scholes to chase, this could be interesting. Oh, well covered by Rhys Jones. Abergavenny Boyne. Rhys Thomas leaves it. That was Owen Evans who made some ground. Rhys shaping up to kick, and he does just that. Payne takes. Gets away from the would-be tackler. Oh, lovely stuff by Payne. Here comes Darren Cave. He's Luke Marshall outside him. Inside to Pienaar. Pienaar puts the foot. I think Pienaar's going all the way. What a try by Pienaar. Just brought down, but he stretched and he scored.
Yeah, those are the chances you have to take. You get the half chance in this game, you have to bury it. Pienaar saw a great field by Jared Payne at the back, comes across infield, opens himself up to make the pass across the Cave, and Pienaar actually picks him out, tells him to straighten, tells him he's available inside. Here you see Jared Payne takes the catch, comes across and makes the pass to Cave. First thing Cave does is to straighten. What you don't see is Pienaar comes inside, but he's pointing, he's telling him, I'm here, give me the ball, and just about has the legs to get there.
And he did absolutely the sensible thing. If he'd stayed upright, he mightn't have got there, and he dived well away from the line, and his momentum and the skiddy surface carried him over.
Yeah, he's gone down and he's gone early, and that's given him, as you say, the momentum. He's had the ball safely tucked up under one arm. It's not going to come out of there. Rides the tackle and gets the 5 points.
Just where you are, okay, thanks.
Well, he's had, from an Ulster perspective, I'm delighted to say, a regular habit of making evenings the Ruin Pienaar show. Interesting, though, it's Paddy Jackson who's going to take the conversion. I think Pienaar was winded when he put the ball down. No mistake, though. It doesn't matter who kicks it, whether it's Pienaar or Jackson. It's still 2 points, and 15.5 minutes gone, and Ulster 10-0 up.
Yeah, certainly, and also looking to play the wider space that we said earlier on, and with a back three of Scholes, a rejuvenated and fresh Tommy Bowe and Jared Payne, the space is there. It's about taking the chances whenever the opportunities come along, and that's a class score.
Yeah, I think he just jarred himself there perhaps a little bit when he went over to score that try. Stephen Jones. Interesting variation, plenty of height on that. Somebody has to call for it. Robbie Dyack does just that. Richie Rees just hangs back and waits to see what's happening. Here's Pienaar. Payne in the outside half position. That was passed inside. Bowe. Wonderful by Bowe. Pienaar. Roger Wilson. Makes a bit of ground. Oh, and it's been robbed. Richie Rees. Douglas, now 34 years of age. Won his first Scottish cap 12 years ago. Stephen Jones nearly found a gap. Well tackled by Luke Marshall. Still there, though. This is enterprising stuff. Matthew Putner. Richie Rees. Owen Evans. Good support play from Corey Hill, the big second row. Stephen Jones. Well tackled by Rob Herring. That's knocked forward. Speculative kick by Darren Cave, and a longer one might have been better, but he didn't have much time, and he knew that he was going to get put into the scrum anyway.
Yeah, the Dragons not getting an awful lot of change out of this Ulster defence, and more importantly, they're listening to the referee. He's been very informative at the breakdown. He's telling the attack, they're picking out the numbers. You heard in the last phase their 1 and 2 rule. They're listening, they're not getting involved, they're not giving away silly penalties. And as well as giving the game a little bit of flow, it's putting Ulster very much in their front foot.
Stay close to it, okay? No. You're going to start close, stay close.
Well, the next game for Ulster is in a fortnight's time here at Ravenhill. It's the postponed game from a couple of weeks ago against the Scarlets on the eve of the Ireland's trip to Paris for the final game of the Six Nations. And Ulster Scarlets is a game you'll be able to see here with us on BBC 2NI. Johan Miller, well, don't know whether he's counting off the games that he's got to play. He'd like to be involved, I think, like everybody else with Ulster, right to the end of May. It's going to be a very interesting run-in the league. Ulster have a pretty tough last 3 fixtures: away to Glasgow, home to Leinster, away to Munster. This is Darren Cave, had a good look, and the important thing is all about looking, and Pienaar showed them all a pretty clean pair of heels, and he dived and his momentum got him there.
Right place, right time, once again.
Sign of a good player.
Find. Set.
Very hefty slap in the back to ruin Pienaar to tell him to put the ball in. Don't think he needed that, but he put it in anyway. It's a good scrum by Ulster. Good control, and the Dragons ping. Penalty against the visitors. First scrum penalty. Lots of applause all round. Robbie Dack giving us tight 5 forwards a good thumping. T. Rees Thomas there, now 30 years of age, formerly of Cardiff and London Welsh, in the middle of that front row that was under a lot of pressure. And what a good kick by Pienaar.
Yeah, it's a lovely strike. It just soars through the air, judged to perfection. Also now have a chance having the line output in deep inside the Dragons' half. But more importantly, with the Dragons fullback having to stay back, potentially with Jared Payne and Tommy Doe in the line here, extra numbers, maybe some sort of back play on.
Herring throws, taken to the back by Dayak Pienaar. Roger Wilson runs into a lot of blue and black jerseys. Has he made it available? Penalties coming to Ulster. Luke Marshall. Slightly manhandled. Pienaar will do the switch, and there's Payne popping up as ever. Ooh, where's that going to go? Can Ulster win it on the ground? They can win it on the ground. That's a great piece of stealing by the informed Dayak.
Advantage over.
Sean Doyle.
Rule away, Doyle.
Advantage is over. Jackson. Ooh, here comes Scholes. He's tall enough. He couldn't quite gather it. Well covered though by Rhys Jones, and because the referee has said advantage was over, Rhys Jones can kick it. He hasn't made much in the way of ground, and it's going to be an Ulster line-out. Clever kick by Paddy Jackson.
Yeah, it's a tactic that we've seen Ulster use throughout the season. Rory Scholes potentially the benefactor in this occasion. Rhys Jones found himself in the right place with some good cover. Jackson looked up, saw the numbers outweighed him. Nicely placed kick, good cover by the fullback. Say no more.
Get the timing right, please.
Well, it's been tough for Paddy Jackson. He spent all week with the Irish squad. Here he is now playing for Ulster. Great flat pass. Luke Marshall up to the 22. Needs a bit of help.
Fine.
Pienaar. Soft little pass to Scholes, who came in off his wing cleverly. Pienaar again. This is looking pretty ominous. Ian Henderson taken off at the ankles by Ashley Smith.
First man.
Slower ball now for Ulster. Dayak. Wilson and Doyle there. The whole Ulster back row working well together. Nudge forward. Scrum to the Dragons.
Yeah, it's a little bit sloppy. Once you get into that red zone, you have to be able to go through the phases holding on to the ball, and an accidental offside or a knock on as the referee has called there. But also just leaving the ball carrier slightly exposed, almost going past the ball too far, which allows then the Dragons fringe defenders to come in, either slow ball down or enforce a turnover.
I have a feeling that's Luke Marshall down injured. Michael Webb, the Ulster senior doctor, and Gareth Robinson, the physio, are down there. And straight away, this could be a first senior cap for former Bangor Grammar School boy Stuart McCloskey, who's a pretty big unit. Hugh McCackey, the Ulster team manager for this evening, is there, former Dungannon hooker. But anxious times. Straight away, the medical team on the field. Johan Muller just trying to keep his players focused as best he can. Always tough, Tony, when you've got one of your players down injured. You don't know whether to go over and try to do something, or do you just try to keep concentrating?
I think first and foremost you clear out of the way. You want to give the medical staff a chance to get there, assess the situation, and to give the best care possible. From the rest of the players, it's obviously a chance to get some hydration on board. We see Johnny Davis and the other guys on there. And also just get a chance to regroup, look at what they've done well, look to see where they are in the pitch and decide what's the next play in terms of, obviously Dragons have the ball, so I'm sure there'll be some sort of emphasis being talked about in terms of, again, trying to put a squeeze on the Dragons scrum.
Well, Marshall took it forward into contact. He was tackled by Stephen Jones, and I think there was an Ulster foot came through. It might have been Ricky Lutton accidentally caught him. And I think that's what maybe just caused a bit of a bang, but he certainly went down. He's up, and is he looking bright-eyed and bushy-tailed? Stuart McCluskey's not completely stripped off, but he's taken an awful thump. Up he gets. Oh, yes. Well, he's had his problems, of course, in the past. The end of last season, he had 2 or 3 weeks in a row when he got himself into trouble. And that's going to be the end of the evening for Luke Marshall, which is very unfortunate. Now, he's looking round and he's smiling, and that's always a good sign. I think this is pretty precautionary, Tony.
Absolutely. Safety first with these sort of things, Jim, at all times. And let's get him off, have him assessed, give him the best possible care. And a big opportunity for Stuart McCluskey as well. He's had a good season for the Ravens, and it'll be interesting to see what he can do this evening.
And he is a big, strong fellow. He's about 6'2" or 6'3". So alas, Luke Marshall's evening has ended, and we wish him well, needless to say. In the meantime, it's going to be a Dragon scrummage. All the seats in the brand new stand, and of course they will be occupied come the Heineken Cup quarter-final at the start of April against the Saracens. Free kick against Richie Rees for putting it in crooked. Ulster may well up for the scrummage again.
Yeah, possibly. You know, they've started very well, and they've obviously had a bit of a chat about that. The front row think they've got the wood in the opposite number. The heat comes on, and that's it's pretty clear, isn't it? There's a slight roll on that and straight in. And the referee's called it nice and nice and straight all night.
Richie Rees had a spell with Cardiff Blues and then Edinburgh, back to his native Wales.
Crouch!
Coming up to 22 minutes gone, 10-0 to Ulster.
Early push.
And Ulster now give away the free kick themselves. Early push, so just over enthusiastic. Weren't quite steady, and Ulster nudged forward, so they've given it away. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Dragons go for a touch. Stephen Jones has thumped it. That's a big kick. Nothing much Tommy Bowe can do about that. It's going to be an Ulster line-out, but they've conceded some 50 metres. There's no need for that, Tony, was there, to give away that possession?
Not really, just a little bit of over-aggressiveness, I suppose. They're obviously trying to get the side of the scrum up, to take the opposition back or out of it to create some space, and it hasn't taken very much for the referee to blow the whistle and give the Dragons a free kick.
Well, at least he's been consistent. Callum Black looks on. Great take by Johan Muller, Ulster's captain, who was interfered with. Silly penalty to give away by the Dragons. Also not reacting very well to it. Quite often Robbie Dyer gets irate about something, and Rhys Thomas comes in. Lloyd Linton will want to just keep a lid on this. I don't think it's going to boil over unnecessarily. Pino's giving it a fairly decent strike.
I'm going to give you a kick good. There you go.
The dampness in the air at Ravenhill. Rob Herring having to dry the ball at every single line-out. Ulster taking Roger Wilson and Doyle out of it. That wasn't straight, but it doesn't matter. It's back on the Ulster side. Back inside to Bowe. Bowe gets away. This is going to be a second try. And what a return to Ulster colours for Tommy Bowe. That was the Tommy Bowe of old. And that will bring a little smile to the face of the Irish coach, Joe Smith.
Absolutely. And is there a better winger in even World Rugby who runs a blind sideline like that? Drawn onto it, back an exquisite pass from Pinar. Off a bit of a shaky line out, Johan Muller does very well, but Pinar just runs across, enticing, and pulling strength, speed and purpose, takes him through two tackles, and there's no way back for there.
Beautiful pass, and look at Bowe. You can see the determination all over that face. The shoulders really hunched up with the effort, and you can see what it means to him and to his Ulster colleagues who are so pleased to have him back in the park. Well, the buzz is still just echoing round Ravenhill as we interesting once again. It's Paddy Jackson. Ruan Pienaar took the long range kick, so looks like Paddy Jackson is the man to take the shorter range ones. Does he like that? Well, he should, because it's right between the Dragons' posts. And nearly 25 minutes played, and Ulster 17-0 up.
Yeah, again, Paddy Jackson looking very controlled, kicking off the tee tonight, and I suppose with all the prospective inquest into the Johnny Sexton injury or not injured, Paddy's very much in the frame for next week, and if he plays, he's going to be kicking. So again, it makes sense for him to be doing it this evening.
Taken in by Dyack, who tries to brush off the challenge of Matthew Putner. Pienaar, is there a bit of a gap for Scholes to rush into? Well taken by Lewis Evans. Scholes sensibly waited until the Dragons number 8 hit the ground. There's a bit of a gap on this narrow side here. This is Jevon Groves. Putner. Dyack and Muller with the tackle. Groves again. Nicely laid back. Good hand, Stephen Jones. Little miss move. Rhys Jones, a 7 specialist.
Run away wide!
Solid defence by Ulster. They've got to get away. Referee's having a good look to see if Ulster are offside in the middle of the park. Rhys Thomas very nearly came through, but he's knocked it forward, and the referee is playing advantage to Ulster. Where's Pienaar? There he is. Jackson. Sean Doyle. Scholes have just overrun him a little bit. Well, away by Doyle. Good play by the flanker. Here comes Henderson. One sidestep, two sidesteps. Cave. Jared Payne. In fact, it's McCluskey doing a pretty decent impression of Jared Payne, only probably a bigger version. Pienaar. Oh, Pienaar again. It's Tommy Bowe. Here comes Bowe. He's going to get a second in almost as many minutes. Can you believe it? Sensational stuff by Tommy Bowe. Well, if there's a smile on the face of Joe Smith, there'll be a frown, because what does he do about Irish selection?
Certainly asking a few questions, but Tommy is absolutely poacher supreme. You can actually hear him screaming there. Keavy. And Darren did the right thing, stayed up again, went through, relieved, got the hands through the tackle, and Tommy just, he looks so powerful, Jim, on the legs. Very, very pacey. He's obviously been out for quite a while, but he almost looks bigger than what he did before, and certainly the power and the pace everybody knows about, and it's there in abundance.
Maybe he heard me mention that he was now 30 years of age.
Winding back the clock.
And Paddy Jackson makes good the conversion. And Ulster are rapidly approaching a point a minute here. 27 minutes gone and 24-0 up.
Whenever you have wingers of that quality and that ability who can make things happen out of nothing, we mentioned the ability, the physical side of it is for all to see, but it's his game awareness, his ability to read the game, to put himself in the right position. Can't really teach that.
Well, it's been a frustrating period for Tommy Bowe, and he couldn't be happier. Here's Scholes, his opposite number. Tommy Bowe, incidentally, that's now 54 tries he's scored, the top try scorer in this Celtic League, in whatever shape or form you want to call it. Clever little kick by Jackson. Here he is again. Well, wouldn't they love it? This is good stuff. Darren Cave has done well. Little chip kick through. Here's McCluskey looking for his first try. He mightn't get it, but Henderson wasn't too far away. Well, that was just like a bigger version of Tommy Bowe legging it down that far touchline. Very nearly Ulster's fourth try by the interval.
I think Ross Wardle is seeing 3 Tommy Bowes coming at him at the minute. But again, very, very clever play. Darren Cave finds himself exposed in the wing, and again the call from inside, and they're pointing as well as shouting, is to put the kick there. And I think it was McCluskey and Ian Henderson both in the position, and Henderson nearly outstripping the three-quarter line to get there.
Well, now the Ulster
or obstruction from blue
team don't know that it's been scored, but I think the referee has gone upstairs to TMO Peter Ferguson to see if there was an obstruction. If there was an obstruction, will that be a yellow card? And had the obstruction not happened, would the try have been scored? This could be interesting. So a number of little imponderables here. Well, this is Cave. He was blocked by Richie Rees. He was looking, he couldn't get it inside. That was a deft little kick. And look at the pace of Henderson. Now, was he obstructed? Oh, I don't think he was. That would be a harsh call. Dragons mighty relieved, I think, if they do get away with this one.
I think it's been carried over. It's Nick Cudd who does a great back row cover to get there. He picks it up and just takes it over. So I think it'll probably be a scrum for Ulster.
Yeah, I can see it in the screen. There's no obvious clear and obvious obstruction unless you've any other angles, Ferg.
No, I'm happy enough. There was shoulder to shoulder. Blue carried it in goal.
That's fine. So it's carried over by Blue, scrum, white ball.
Yeah, no
Correct.
obvious obstruction. Carried over by the blue player, in this case, Nick Cudd. And it's going to be an Ulster scrummage 5 metres from the Dragons line. Coming up to half an hour played, Ulster 24-0 and 3 tries to 0 up at the moment.
Meet them, guys, okay? Yeah,
they haven't had a bonus point victory since round number 8, Ulster, so they need not just to keep winning, but they need to start picking up bonus points. Because, as we mentioned, their run-in is pretty horrific.
Bind! Set!
No early shove this time. Good control by Roger Wilson.
Stay close.
Ulster trying to get the squeeze on. The crowd behind them. Pinar is just urging them to go forward, and they get the penalty. Now it could be another scrum, or it could be into touch. I don't think it'll be a kick at goal. Do you?
No, I think they'll take the scrum again. Most teams traditionally, once they beat out the first scrum, will go for 2, because 2 takes you very, very close to penalty try time. And also certainly look as if they have the advantage up front. Nice control by Roger Wilson at the back. Pinar was in no hurry to remove the ball from between his feet there.
7, leave him alone.
A rather beleaguered looking Dragons front row. Pinar, score of Ulster's first points. A penalty and then a try. Get it right this time, and Wilson just bringing the ball over to set it up for Pinar. Now Miller will call for the scrum, and that's another penalty. Now that's 2, and it was collapsed, I think, on the Dragons' loose head side. Referee saying knees on the ground, which you're not allowed to do. And if they infringe a 3rd time, it may well be a penalty try.
Yeah, I think if it's a 3rd one, Jim, it'll definitely be a penalty try. Dragons holding their hands in the air. I think they know that they're under big pressure here, and Ulster are just going to keep the hammer on until a try comes one way or the other.
Lads, listen, that's 2 in this area, okay? Let's keep it up and keep it square. Thank you. I'm not talking about it. Let's go.
Now the press the surface here at Ravenhill starting to cut up a little bit, and the referee has actually brought them infield by 2 or 3 metres, which leaves the blind side exposed. I'm not sure Ulster will really be going for that one. I think they'll be going for a big shove here and trying to force a try or even a penalty try.
Let's get a bit closer.
Lloyd Linton wants them closer before they engage. And as ever, the front rows and the second rows take a little bit of time just to get mud from in between their studs. Callum Black on the Ulster loose head side, making his 9th start of this particular season.
Bind! Set!
The voice saying, come on, Ricky, as if to encourage Ricky Lutton, who's scrummaged well this evening. Here they go again. Now there's the dig in, and here comes the secondary shove. Good control by Wilson. Dragons are trying to bring it round. Wilson's still there. Penalty, yet again, standing up. Well, that's 3 in a row, and somebody's going to go to the bin, I have a feeling. Is it going to be one of the Dragons' front rows?
This side, proper side.
It's number 1, I think. He said number 3, but I'm sure he means the loose head, which is Owen Evans. And Owen Evans has gone to the bin for deliberately standing up. Well, they'll have to bring on a replacement prop, which means taking off probably a back row forward. And if Ulster don't get a penalty try from this, Tony, well, I'll be very surprised.
I still don't think we're going to see the ball leave from Roger Wilson's feet at the next scrum. Interesting that he's taken a decision there to put the man in the bin. He's penalised him as a whole, or sorry, as an individual, as opposed to a whole in terms of a unit or an aid, and perhaps the penalty try would have been a better option and keep the 2 teams at 15.
Well, 32 minutes
Scrum called.
gone. Wearing number 17 is Nathan Williams coming on, the 30-year-old. Be very interesting. He has his outside or his left sleeve cut right back, so there's hardly anything to grip upon, but then you're supposed to grip upon the jersey. So Jevon Groves has gone off and Nathan Williams has come on to give the Dragons a complete front row, and there's that interestingly cut jersey. It's a fairly hefty arm, that. I'm not sure I'd want to arm wrestle him for the price of a pint of Guinness.
Bind!
Might beat him.
Set!
So for the fourth time of asking, now can Ulster squeeze something out of this 5-metre scrum? You can hear what the crowd think. Oh, it's a penalty try. Collapsed straight away. Whether it was deliberate or whether the feet went, it doesn't matter, because Lloyd Linton has marched right between the Dragons' posts. He's given the penalty try, and that, with 7 minutes of the half remaining, is a fourth Ulster try and a bonus point try.
It was always on the cards, and perhaps perversely that was, I feel, the Dragons' best scrum of the four, and it's the one that he's gone underneath the post for. But it's just the intent. It's 4 in a row, and at this level of rugby, it's never really going to go any other way. But Ulster have showed good intent at the set piece again. Rob Herring leading well from the front. He's been very solid line out time. He's looked good in the loose, and he's led the scrum well, and Ulster are making that advantage count up front. Set piece domination.
Paddy Jackson has added a third conversion for him, or in fact a fourth conversion for him, and Ulster now looking pretty comfortable. Well, you've got to feel a certain amount of sympathy for the Dragons, but that did collapse, and well, Nick Cudd on the far side just raised his eyebrows. There was nothing he could do about it. Jones with the restart. Scholes, sure he must be enjoying his senior Ulster debut. He came off the bench in the last 2 games. Pinar. Robbie Dyack gets across the 22.
Passed inside.
Jackson into a wee bit of space, but that's good covering by Rhys Jones, who's well tackled by Ian Henderson. Ulster crowding the middle of the field and giving away, I think, their first penalty of the evening.
Yeah, the Dragons back three are lying very, very deep whenever Ulster have the ball. So subsequently, whenever Ulster kick, they're really kicking into that no man's land in between. And as well as bringing the Dragons, the wingers and fullback onto it, it also gives Ulster a chance to chase. And Ian Henderson's very, very good at that. We've seen him cover a lot of ground this evening, doing a lot of tackling. On that occasion, off the next phase, it's Ulster who give away their first penalty.
Well, Ryan Jones is going to go for the Ulster post. The crowd were not terribly enamoured with it. They wonder why.
Thanks very much.
With your side 31 points adrift, you're going to go for 3 points, but you never know. 5 or 6 penalties and they could be back in this. So Rhys Jones, who kicked a couple of conversions in the last gasp win over high-flying Glasgow a week or so ago. As half-time approaches, has this chance for the first points for the visitors from Newport. Good solid strike, a little back lift. Oh, it's not the Dragons' night, is it? Back to Ruan Pinar. And what a very fine kick by Ruan Pinar. One bounce and into touch just inside the Dragons' half.
Yeah, super strike. Just coming back off the post and had plenty of distance. And again, Pinar just finds himself in the right place at the right time. Looks up, sees the touchline exposed, and is able to find a long touch finder.
The Dragons line out, and they've taken a couple of players out. Nick Cudd has disappeared into the middle of the park somewhere. Rhys Thomas didn't look altogether straight, but the referee's happy enough. Thomas comes round to collect the ball that he threw in. And Muller told to get out of it. Dragons with the ball. That's for Tommy Bowe to catch. And Tommy Bowe does catch it. He'll be pretty pleased with his evening's work so far. Here comes Jackson. Jared Payne. Now Darren Cave. Clever kick by Cave because he saw that Rhys Jones had come up and closed it down. Maybe didn't give Rory Scholes quite enough chance to chase, but it was a smart kick by a smart player. Yeah, well, Darren, I think, would have liked the ball to stay in play, but the difference between the two back lines is Ulster moving the ball at pace. Yes, they're moving it at depth, but the ball's getting to the wing quickly, and that's giving them a chance to basically observe the options in front of them and then select the right option from them. They've looked very, very comfortable with ball in hand. Just under 3 minutes remaining to half-time. Ulster with 4 points. Four tries, I should say.
Hold.
Well taken by Matthew Screech. Nick Cudd just trying to protect the ball. Richie Rees, I think, will ask for it. Pienaar does it again, charged it down. Sean Doyle, tackled by Stephen Jones. A quick Ulster ball could make this very interesting. Here's Jackson. That's nicely done. Jared Payne with Bow outside him. Bow looking for a hat-trick. Gets it inside to Cave, who couldn't quite hold. Stuart McCluskey puts in the tackle.
Away. Back feet, back feet.
Referee playing advantage for the knock-on. Will the Dragons try to kick this away? No, they're trying to move it. Rob Herring unceremoniously taken out of it. Now Stephen Jones will kick. And Ulster offside. Robbie Dack, I think, the man in the middle, just that little bit too anxious. But many times in the last season or so have we seen Ruan Pienaar charge down a kick.
Yeah, he's good at it, isn't he? He just picks right options all the time. Here's the angle again of Tommy coming in, and I think Darren just took his eye off the ball slightly. Saw the defender coming in and juggled and turned it over, but also look venomous in defence. You know, they're looking for the tackle, they're looking to make the contact, stopping the opposition before the gain line, and that's a big difference to what we saw in a real lacklustre performance last week in Italy, which really did leave a lot to be desired.
Yes, I think there was not just a fair bit of soul searching, but backside kicking perhaps.
And it was needed as well, let's be honest about it. Poor performances there's been in a long time in a white shirt.
Well, I think they knew that. Just over a minute to the interval. Roger Wilson decides to come out of the line-out. That's well won by the Dragons. Nick Cudd goes in to try to set it up. Rhys Thomas is there as well. Good bit of driving by the men from Newport. Ricky Lupton and Robbie Dayak told to get back by the referee. Dragons still moving forward, but there's not much going on there. Here's Stephen Jones into a wee bit of space. That's nicely done. Oh, that's well taken by the big centre, Pat Leach. Is there something in this for the Dragons before half-time? Ulster will be cross with themselves if they concede anything. Thomas, well away. This is Jones. Plenty of pace, but not much room in which to show it. Well taken.
Release him.
Bruce Douglas, the Scots international, makes a bit of ground. Richie Rees. Well, there's no room on that narrow side. Lewis Evans, well tackled by Ulster. But 20 seconds remaining. Ulster just hanging on. This is the closest the Dragons have come. First time I think they've been inside the Ulster 22. Richie Rees. Away they go. There's the skipper, Ashley Smith. A lot of white shirts in there, but back on the blue side, Nick Cudd. Held up by Rob Herring. Richie Rees looks for a runner, wants Thomas to come round. There is Thomas.
Run away one.
Big tackle by Callum Black. Richie Rees seemed to be knocked forward by Pienaar, and that's construed to be a deliberate knock forward by Pienaar. If it was a deliberate knock forward, should have been going to the pocket, maybe. But that's going to be a penalty, and I think the Dragons might just get points in this half. A rather ribald cheer from the crowd. Ooh, hard call?
Yeah, it was a hard call. I think marginally probably half a yard offside as well, but much better defensively from Ulster around the fringes. Clever kick by the Dragons and well picked up by Pat Leach. But again, the scramble defence is good. They're filling the channels much better around the ruck time, not leaving any space for tacklers either to be able to step or breach. And Mark Anscombe will be happy with that. Johnny Bell, especially the defensive coach, will be very happy to see that.
Well, he saw one about 5 minutes ago bounce off the upright. Left-footed Rhys Jones. The Dragons' first point here at Ravenhill. And he makes no mistake with that, but it's been a very dominant opening 40 minutes from Ulster. Early penalty by Ruan Pienaar, who then scored a try. A couple of tries from Tommy Bowe. A penalty try, 4 conversions from Paddy Jackson. And right at the end, Rhys Jones puts it between the Ulster posts. But it's been the Pienaar and Bowe show so far, but everybody else has played their bit. Ulster will be very happy. An infinitely better performance than the one in Treviso just 6 short days ago. So at half-time, Ulster, well, with the bonus point secured at the moment, can they kick on and make it even better? Ulster 31 and the Gwent Dragons 3.
Well, that was an enjoyable 40 minutes. Normal services resumed. Ruan Pienaar directing operations. Payne showing his class. And Ulster scoring 4 tries in all. 1 for Pienaar, and Tommy Bowe back with a bang. His first game for Ulster in 3 months. 2 tries for him, and then a penalty try before half-time means it's all smiles, and the bonus point already in the bag. Ulster leading by 31 points to 3, but more importantly, you'd have to say that's the 5 points already secure. Well, Bryn Cunningham and Andy Ward have been enjoying a great first half of rugby, and gentlemen, that was more like it.
Yeah, what a difference a week makes. I thought Ulster were outstanding, showing great enterprise in the back three in particular. I suppose what's surprising, I don't want to take away from the Ulster performance in any way, but the Dragons have been very poor. Defensively, they've lacked structure. They've sat off the play a lot, which is very unlike them. Normally, they're very much in your face. They put pressure on you. They force mistakes. They're not really doing that, and they're allowing Ulster to play. The set piece, as we talked about at the beginning, has been very good, and that means it's given the backs the opportunity, a bit of space. And if you give guys like Payne, Cave, Bowe, Scholes space, there are going to be problems.
Lots to look at from that first half, Andy. And as Bryn said, if you're going to allow Ulster to play, they've got a backline which can damage you, especially when you've got a player like Jared Payne who can create a little bit of class for the opening score.
Very much so. I mean, they've been exposed on several occasions, and Jared Payne, all he needs is a sniff of a few gaps, and he's exploited that on several occasions already, and it's only been early doors in the game. Ulster's defence, I think, tonight has been very, very good as well. Very solid, all bar one little snip around the side, but other than that, they've been very, very good. I mean, this is a take. He had no right to do what he did here. There should have been a good chasing line. They're just hanging off them, but he's spotted that space before he's actually got into it. And fair play to Darren Cave, he's done exceptionally well here. This is class. He knew he wasn't quite get there, go a little lower, because had he gone another 2 steps, saying upright, potentially that try might not have happened. So a little bit of experience there as well.
Counter-attacking rugby at its best, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was wonderful. And Jared Payne just does little things that sometimes you don't notice, and you could see there the camera angle from behind. He just shows a ball, and it just holds the defence fractionally. It holds 2 defenders and allows that space to throw the wide pass to put Cave into a lot of space. It was very, very clever play.
I think it's just a great asset to have as well, and any young child watching Jared Payne play rugby, carrying the ball in 2 hands, that's the way to play.
And if you want a great exhibition of wing play, of course, you need look no further than Tommy Bowe. I mean, what a way to come back tonight, even from the very first touch, Brent.
Well, I think he's a man possessed. He just was disappointed he's been out for so long, and it's difficult for a player sometimes when you're out injured and you think you'll be back in a few weeks, and it's longer than that. But right from the start there, you could see he was getting his hands on the ball. He was hungry. A cracking line, yes, a slight knock on, but a really good line, which is a sign of a player that just switches into top gear straight away. Good footwork, again, doing all the things well. And this is obviously his first try. Pienaar shows it's a pre-planned move, hits the line beautifully, and then just accelerates away.
You wouldn't realise that guy's been out of rugby for as long as he has. He looks like he's been straight away. He's played last week, the week before, the week before. There's no rustiness whatsoever to see from Tommy Bowe. And for me, he looks so exciting, explosive, and so fresh and powerful. And I think that's an exciting time.
And Darren Cave, very creative tonight for Tommy's second score as well.
Well, I mean, Darren Cave, I think, has the highest amount of offloads in the Pro 12. He also has the highest, I think, try conversion rate in terms of giving that last pass. So he's very, very good. He's no right to get through that hole and get that pass away. But Tommy, being the finisher that he is, reads the play well, knows that Darren might get that pass away, and he gets onto that ball very quickly, calls, and it's another great line, splits the defence, good bit of footwork. And the difference with Tommy now as well, having been out for a while, is he's put a little bit of bulk on in his legs, and it means that if you don't tackle him hard, he's going to get through that tackle every single time. He's going to pump those legs and just accelerate away from you.
He's almost got legs like you in your heyday, Brent.
Very similar, not quite as powerful.
Let's not get carried away, Andy. Darren Cave again involved. Ulster could have had another great score before the penalty try came, of course.
But Darren Cave's had a fantastic season, and as Bryn's rightly said, he's creating offloads, he's creating opportunities, but he's going into contact situations, understanding what he's trying to create and what he's trying to do. Here he's looking, you can see him early doors, he knows he can't get that pass and there's too many interference in the way. My next option, so he's already scanned that, and it's just the luck of the bounce here. It's been fantastic. It's a great slow motion.
And the referee had no choice here, Brent, did it?
No.
It had to be a penalty try.
It was always coming. I mean, I was up here watching, thinking, just throw the ball out to the backs and let the backs score again.
Well,
what a boring way to score a try. But no, great for the forwards.
Yeah.
They've dominated the set piece again.
Yeah.
Line-out's been very good. Scrummaging's been outstanding. They're dominating every facet of play, and the Dragons look out on their feet, really struggling. And fingers crossed they have a big second half performance as well, because we've seen in the past where that hasn't always happened.
Okay, we'll talk more in a minute. As you've seen behind me, the new Ravenhill Stadium is coming along really nicely. It will be completely finished for May the 3rd and will officially open on that date for the Leinster game. Now, one part of the stadium which is already finished is the new state-of-the-art Ulster gym. It's the envy of teams right around Europe, and we got a sneak look inside.
I suppose what we have created here is pretty unique in the world of rugby. The Ospreys they had already heard about the gym facility and they wanted to see it, so yeah, people are talking. 5 years ago we had the opportunity to design a facility with architects, and just been those steps towards making it happen now, making it a reality. It's more of a sort of daylight feel within the environment, so bright white lights, white walls, white gloss, so that it feels bright and airy. But within the environment change, you get change in mood and a feel-good factor, and people wanting to be here and spend more time in here. I don't think that it'll be replicated anytime soon. It'll take people a while to catch up to what we've done. With the 8 platforms, we can have 3 to 4 guys per platform. You do the math on that, then you can work the matchday squad in one go. Rugby players, they're not as successful as they are by mistake. It's by design that they're all very competitive. Week on week, guys will always try to outdo each other. It's important that if you do have a lot of players on the gym floor, that you have the strength and conditioning coaches as well, to ensure that the work that you want done is being done and to the quality, looking at their numbers in their diaries. Strength is the biggest injury prevention tool that you can have. The stronger the player, the less likely they are to get injured. With the environment that we've created here and the gym that we've created, certainly yes, with our strength and power scores, we're seeing that improvement. We just want to stay ahead of the curve and work off our CEO's mantra of being world's best, and putting Ulster will be on the map in more than one way. Of course, we all want to win games and win trophies, but we can have fun along the way doing it by creating something like this.
Well, the Ulster fans won't have seen inside that gym just yet, but I can tell you it is fantastic. And the new stand which is being opened for that game in May is state of the art as well. I've actually had a sneak look in there. It's got a massive oval dressing room for the home team, a couple of big bars for all the fans, and I have to say it is a fantastic addition to this Ravenhill Stadium. Now, one man who will be using the gym quite a lot over the next couple of weeks will be Dan Toohey, who had a great Six Nations Championship before he got injured, and he's talking to Gavin Andrews.
Well, Dan, talk us through how the injury's coming on, and I suppose you spent a lot of time in that great facility to get ready.
Yeah, no, the injury's coming on good. It's 2.5 weeks now post-surgery, so the arm feels great, and it's been a pleasure coming into work early in the morning in this new facility. It's a great change from Newforge, and it's really a refreshing change for us.
And all the opposing teams very jealous of it. We see them coming in every week and going green.
Yeah, no, there's been a few. Mick was showing their kit man around today, and I saw their physio and a few other people having a quick look around the gym, and they were very impressed by it.
Obviously you were injured, but talk us through some of the highs and lows of a special Six Nations for you.
Yeah, it was quite short-lived. It was great to get that start and find out so late, and get a win against Scotland, and obviously straight back down to earth with a bump the week after against Wales. But that's part and parcel of a professional career, and I've been fortunate enough not to pick up too many injuries. So just roll with the punches on that one and try and get back as soon as I can.
Tommy Bowe looking good, back and fit again. Do you think he'll give Joe Schmidt something to think about tonight?
Yeah, I'm sure Tommy's looking strong. I'm actually watching the game with Andrew Trimble, and I know he's watching this, so I'm going to watch out what I'm saying here. But yeah, Tommy's looking strong, but to be honest, a lot of the guys are, and the boys are playing extremely well after a poor performance last week. We've certainly kept a few people quiet, and it looks like they're going to enjoy a good evening.
When will we see you back in an Ulster shirt?
Hopefully in a few weeks' time. Everything's going well, and the surgeon gave me a good feedback on Monday, so, you know, Saracens are a likely possibility.
Good man, thanks for your time, Dan.
Thanks very much, cheers.
Good news if Dan Toohey can make it back for the big European quarter-final.
Yeah, Dan's been outstanding all season, and that's why he got called up into the Irish squad. He's a big man, he carries the ball well, and it's a nice balance whenever he's in there with Muller. Muller does a lot of the graft, a lot of the grunt work you don't see an awful lot of. Dan gets into slightly wider channels and causes a lot of havoc in there. He's a quality player, and as I say, it's a nice balance having the two.
It's going to be a difficult second half for the Dragons, Andy, and I suppose difficult for Ulster perhaps to just maintain their focus second half, being so far in front.
I'd agree. I mean, I think it's going to be a difficult half for the Dragons if Ulster continue playing, and that's my big fear, is that they sort of, okay, the job's done, points are in the bag, let's just go out and have a little bit here. But Ulster need to keep turning the thread up and keep turning the screw, and hopefully it will be a super tough night for the Dragons as well.
You'd just like to see Ulster just continue what they've done in the first half, Bryn.
Yeah, as Andy mentioned, we've seen in the past Ulster having a very dominant first half, maybe getting 3-4 tries up, and then the second half has just faded away. Now, a lot of that will be down to the opposition. We'll get a rollicking at half time, but let's hope Ulster continue to put some pretty impressive tries together.
Okay, thank you very much. Hope you're enjoying Ulster Rugby Live. Sit back and enjoy the second half, confident in the knowledge that the bonus point is already in the bag for Johan Muller and his team. It's back to our commentary duo, Tony McWhirter and Jim Neely.
Dragons back on the park. Johan Muller brings Ulster back in, and I think Tommy Bowe's evening is over, and that's what you call a pretty decent cameo, because having scored 2 tries and put himself, I suspect, very much in the frame for consideration for the Six Nations, he's given way to David McIlwain. Nice to see David McIlwain get a run, and Darren Cave, who'll be playing inside him, will have a little word with the 23-year-old. No stranger to the Ulster colours. This is 19th cap and his 15th in the league.
Okay, lads, we ready to go? Hang on, just hold for me. Okay.
Paddy Jackson to get the second half underway. I would say that he is on the field. That's gone into no man's land, and nobody's managing it terribly well. And Ulster up very quickly, and they might well have capitalised there. Rory Scholes the first man to it. Richie Rees. Dragons trying to set up a better field position to clear their lines. Here they come again. Ulster told just to leave it alone. That's gone into the middle of the park. Now, where's that going to bounce? Paddy Jackson lets it go. It's a nasty one. And he's managed to get it. Little flat pass is Roger Wilson. Good defence by Jevon Groves. Here come Ulster again. Jared Payne sneaked down that narrow side. Pinar. Dyack. What a lovely sidestep at full tilt. Pinar again. Sweet hands. Jackson. Little sortie, good support play by his open side flanker, but it's been spilled, and the Dragons on the attack. Now what are they going to do? They're going to kick and chase. And Jackson's going to have to be smartish about this, and he has been, but he's got himself caught. That was a very clever piece of defensive kicking by the Dragons, but Ulster have won it now. Pinar, flat ball. Oh, great stuff by Ulster. There goes Scholes to Payne. Payne, is he going to make it? He's got Rhys Jones coming. He hands him off. Slings it behind him. Good covering by Rhys Jones. And that really should have been try number 5 for Ulster.
Yeah, good cover by Paddy Jackson initially, but if we get a chance to see it again, there's a great clear out of the ruck by Stuart McCluskey that sets this in play. Jackson found himself exposed. McCluskey stepped in, used his strength to regain the ball for Ulster, and then going well down the blind side. Jared just doesn't quite have the wheels to get there.
Pretty close though. Back now to Rhys Jones, who did the covering, and that's well played by the 7 specialist and son of Kingsley. There's Stephen Jones deputising for Jason Tuffy. He was meant to have been on the bench, the man who kicked 5 penalties way back in the beginning of September when the Dragons won the corresponding fixture as the season opened. Bob Herring Ulster have taken Roger Wilson and Sean Doyle out of the line-out. That was Henderson, won it nicely. Dyak round the narrow side. Good dummy by Dyak. Could have done with a couple of people in closer support. And Ulster spilled that forward, and that's because there was nobody really with Robbie Dyak. But a clever move, Tony.
Yeah, nice move round the front, set piece, and Rhys Thomas, the Dragons hooker, just holds off and holds off and holds off, and Dyak goes through, offend, and using both feet to step. And as you said, Richie Rees has just got in there and managed to slow the ball down.
Dragons, remember, still down to 14 men because their prop forward Owen Evans, I don't think, is back on the field.
Mark's actually over here, so let's go. There you go. Go to the left of it.
Referee's just bringing them over to the point where he wants the scrum to take place. Coming up with 3 minutes played in the second half. Ulster still leading by 31 points to 3.
Crouch!
4 first half tries, one of them a penalty try, a couple by Tommy Bowe, one by Ruan Pienaar.
Set!
Free kick against Ulster for just nudging forward.
Nice, sorry, my mistake, it's a penalty. Second one, early push.
So he had given the free kick and then he changed his mind and gave the penalty because it was, I think, a second offence.
Well, again, every team craves consistency, and he's given us that tonight. The players know exactly where they stand. The scrum still has to be a contest, and we always want it to be a contest, but again, we have to play to the letter of the law and to what the referee wants as well.
So because it was a full penalty, it's going to be a line out to the Dragons. Rhys Thomas on his own 22. Well taken in by big Corey Hill. Only 22 years of age, remember. Ulster trying to squeeze the Dragons back, and Richie Rees is going to have to kick this one, and he does. And he's found a pretty good touch. That's a good strike by the scrum half. Now, 30 years of age. Got his first cap against England in 2010, his last against New Zealand that same year. Looked as if he was in for a long spell at the base of the Welsh scrum, but it didn't happen like that. Muller, Pienaar, McCluskey. Good strength, wasn't held. Pienaar had to readjust. Oh, Scholes is through. He's going to get his first try for Ulster. Oh, he's not. He is. Has he made it? It's pretty close. No, it's short. There's a Dragons man in there. Pienaar, surely they must score. Out they go wide. Sean Doyle gets his second try. Well, they looked as if they were going to make heavy weather of it, but they got there in the end, and Rory Scholes was tantalisingly close, but Doyle finished it off.
Almost a carbon copy going back to Tommy Bowe's try in the first half, with Pienaar picking the ball up and running from the base of the ruck this time, and that delayed pass to Scholes coming very, very late, which makes it extremely difficult for the defence to see it. And again, almost Bowe-esque goes through, and there's just a tip tackle there that stops him, but again, composure to get up, reset, push the ball back, and it's simple hands from Pienaar to Jackson to Sean Doyle over in the corner.
So Paddy Jackson, who kicked 4 conversions in the first half, looking for his 5th of the evening. Well, that's a confident strike. Perfect range for Paddy Jackson. And Ulster now leading by 38 points to 3. Having a wee bit of a problem with the electronic clock there, as you can see. Wonderful thrust by Rory Scholes. What a talent this youngster is. And he did his very best, and he was held up short, and Ulster sensibly moved the ball and looked as if they were going to over-egg the pudding a little bit, but Sean Doyle in unopposed. Ulster regained the ball from the kick-off, well stretched by Jackson. An enormous hoof he's given that. Rhys Jones covers well. There's a wee bit of space here, but he's opted for the long one. Good take by Jackson. Nice presentation by Jackson. Pienaar. Dyak.
4 blue!
Matthew Screech told to get out of it. Look at Pienaar, and he's popped it straight into touch.
A magnificent take from the restart there by Johan Muller. Two players in place to give him a majestic lift, and he plucked it from the sky, setting up great. great ball for Ulster to get themselves back into Le Guin's half.
Well, the Dragons are hauling ashore Richie Reese, and I think it's number 21, Wayne Evans, is going to come on. Joined from Cardiff a long time ago. He's now played over 150 games for the Dragons, so Richie Reese's evening is over here at Ravenhill. Ulster interfering with the man who was going for the ball in the air, and Lloyd Linton's given the Dragons the penalty. No messing about this time, straight into touch by Stephen Jones. I'm pretty sure, Tony, the 10 minutes is up, and Nathan Williams, I think, is still on the field, so maybe they're just sticking with Nathan Williams at loosehead because the man who went off was under such a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I think the Dragons are certainly back to 10. It looks as if they're back to their starting 8, Jim.
Oh, you're right, he is. I'm just seeing the number 1 man there. Yep, he's there.
Guys, away!
Good defence by Ulster. Dragons still churning forward. Well, that's a very good driving maul by the Dragons. Ulster have to be careful not to concede a penalty. Still going. Ulster's post within touching distance. Wayne Evans, the replacement. Stephen Jones, there's a decent chance here. If it could be held, and it wasn't held, and knocked forward, and the Dragons will be well kicking themselves. That was a gilt-edged chance.
It was, but again, good defence by Ulster, and it's something that they've done well this evening. They've surrendered to take it the line out, and they've been prepared to stay on the ground and compete and drive. And again, you heard the referee call, that's fine, it's through the middle, and that's the way that you have to come. You'll give away penalties and indiscretions by coming in the side and dropping it. Through the middle's fine. And if we take this forward a month until the Saracens game, that's a big weapon that Saracens use as they're driving line out.
Well, Ulster still to bring back Rory Best and John Afoa. Tom Court's on the bench. Dan Toohey is recovering.
9.
Chris Henry still there or thereabouts, and of course the aforementioned Nick Williams. Andrew Timble as well. Craig Gilroy coming back into the mix.
5.
Bit of an early bind.
Let's get a gap. Let's see the shoulder as well, please. Just here.
Ricky Lutton on the Ulster tight head side, making his 5th start of the season. Went with the emerging Ireland squad to the Tbilisi Cup in Georgia away back last summer. Played all 3 games as a replacement. Done a pretty good job so far this evening. That's a good squeeze by the Dragons, though, just as we say that. And a penalty against, I think, the Dragons' loosehead Owen Evans for coming underneath and driving in an illegal angle. That's just lack of concentration on Ulster's part, Tony.
Yeah, and obviously a little bit of illegality from the Dragons as well, but it's certainly the first time at scrum time this evening that Ulster's concentration has waned, perhaps, and the coaching staff will want to see too much more of that.
Well, from the left-hand clock, Neil Doug, Mark Anscombe, Johnny Bell, and video analyst Niall Malone, former Ulster and Ireland outside half. I don't know who the other 2 agents were, but anyway. Well, taken by Muller, and again Liam Paban starting up. Roger Wilson just hanging on, trying to catch the Dragons outside half. Reece Thomas told to clear off. Got a grappling there, and Wilson has got to make this available. He's gone to ground. Bit untidy. Well, Ruan Pienaar, loss of concentration by him, but it's well recovered by Ulster and by the most recent try scorer, Sean Doyle. Jackson. Darren Cave, no way through. Pienaar. Jackson. That's clever. Now McElwain, can he latch on to it? Well, alas, given the shape of a rugby ball and the laws of physics, there was always the chance that that wasn't going to bounce up the way he wanted.
The Ulster line-out's going well, though, hasn't it? You know, I think it's been 100% completion, but that last little bit of driving play, that's the sort of thing that has a coach pulling his hair out, or whatever hair he has left, because after taking clean ball, you drive it and you have the front foot, and then you allow someone to come through and slow it down, and you really lose your momentum quite quickly.
Reece Thomas on his own 10-metre line. Good challenge by Ulster. Pienaar, Doyle, Jackson needs to be clever, and he is clever. It wasn't the worst pass in the world, but nobody latched onto it. Here's Scholes. Pretty sure he's enjoyed his first senior cap as a starter. Rob Herring, a lot of pace for a hooker. Well tackled though by Owen Evans. Pienaar, good switch now. There's a half a chance here. Cave.
Roll!
Decided to put the foot on the gas. Pienaar in quickly. Callum Black. Low centre of gravity. Good drive by the ugly little prop on the narrow side. Well taken by Jackson. Swift transfer. It's McCluskey using that strength of his. Now Pienaar. Well taken by Rob Herring. Spiraled away from the defender. Pienaar probing that narrow side again. Here's Cave. Gets away. He's got away, Cave. Needed somebody on his elbow. Now it's Pienaar. Clever switch. Out to Scholes. Denied. Back inside to Ricky Lutton looking for his first try. And the tight head's not too far away. Ulster have the ball. Hand came through. Was it illegal? Yes, it was. I'm wondering, is that going to be a yellow card? It was the replacement scrum half who came through, Wayne Evans. It was a bit naughty, but was it cardable? Maybe not.
It was certainly a lot more blatant than Pienaar's one in the first half, but having Ulster probe down that blind side really well, they're happy to bring the Dragons in one or two phases and then switch and go down the blind side, and they're always getting them for the gain line, time after time.
I think Rory Scholes has got himself, I hope it's just a little bit of cramp there was the incident. Ooh, he's not allowed to do that. That's wasn't a cardinal sin, but it was a naughty one. Good work by Darren Cave, and did the right thing hanging onto the ball. Not altogether sure that Rhys Jones was getting out of the way quickly enough. I think Scholes is fine. He's up again. I hope he hasn't tweaked anything. I don't think he has. Well, he has. I think they're making the sign that they want a replacement on, and the only back replacement they have now is Paul Marshall, because Luke Marshall has gone off.
Blue 3, substitution.
So where will Paul Marshall go?
3.
And the Dragons are making a replacement. Bruce Douglas is going off to be replaced by the even older, if he doesn't mind me saying so, he'll be 40 in his next birthday, and on comes the formidable figure of Duncan Bell, who battled away in the front row for Bath for what seemed like about half a century. Capped 5 times for England, so off goes the Scotsman, on comes an Englishman to play for the Welsh side. Well taken in by Sean Doyle from the good catch, and here go Ulster again. Referee saying they were going in the side, and Ulster thundering for the line, looking for the 6th try. And he has given the penalty, and I think, well, now Ulster have the option of popping into the corner, Tony, or going for another 5-metre scrum.
Well, I think the way the scrum's gone, will probably look there first. The referee looks as if he's delving into his pocket here as well, so Gwent could be down to 14, but the rolling maul is really back in vogue in rugby. Ireland have used it really, really well so far this season, and Ulster again have set their stall out well this evening and have used it well, maybe not quite as effectively as they want to.
I'm going to give you a second to have a word with them now.
But it's a potent weapon nonetheless.
Lloyd Linton having a word with the Dragons skipper Ashley Smith, who's taken over from the second row forward Andrew Coombs in that respect. So Ulster have got all 3 back replacements on. Great take there by Johan Muller. And Muller was upright, but Ulster had the ball in there. Now they were driving forward, and there's a culprit here. Was it the number 1? It was the number 1, you know, Owen Evans, who's already been to the bin.
Possibly 4 as well, but nice change of emphasis from Ulster. It's Muller who catches it but brings it down and switches the point of attack in a way to try and deflect the defence, and that lets Ulster gain some momentum.
Well taken by Muller. Good defence there by the Dragons. Ulster still have the ball. The Dragons have overrun it. And here go Ulster again. Still looking for try number 6. Pienaar. Taken on by Stuart McCluskey. The Dragons' hand in there. Pienaar. Little flat ball. Dyack, if anybody deserves a try, it's Robbie Dyack. Pienaar. Clever little dummy. Jackson. Jared Payne. Gets it to McElwain. Yes! Try number 6. They may go back to have a look and see if it's a forward pass, and if it's not, David McElwain has got his first Ulster try.
Just check the last pass for me, please.
They've gone upstairs to Peter Ferguson to check. with McElwain. I have a feeling he might just have got that, but it all depends on whether or not the pass from Jared Payne was a good one. This is it. What do you think, Tony?
Yeah, it comes across. It's all in the hands these days, isn't it? I think it's flat at best, shall we say.
But David McElwain had to take it behind him.
Yeah, I think he's probably a yard, maybe half a yard in front of that, isn't he? It's a nice angle he's ran. It's just the pass is maybe just gone slightly late.
Well, here comes Jared Payne round the right angle. David McElwain sensibly came inside. And he just brushed aside the tackle of Ross Wardle, who's had a very quiet evening.
Lloyd?
Yeah, I can hear you, Pete.
The pass was slightly forward.
Okay, scrum 5, blue ball.
Correct.
Peter Ferguson saying the pass was slightly forward. It's going to be a 5-metre scrum, and it's going to be a Dragons put in. And David McElwain, never mind the supporters, who are only pleased to be here, needless to say, will be disappointed. Equally at home at full-back, David McElwain, big leggy fella, lots of pace. Ravenhill crowd getting behind the men in white.
Right. Bind. Set.
Wayne Evans, their replacement scrum half with a put in. Again, that didn't look desperately straight. Also get the squeeze on, picked up at the back by Lewis Evans.
Let it go, 7.
Well released. Wayne Evans. Good first step Ulster tackling, keeping the Dragons as tight to their posts as possible. That was Corey Hill set it up. Now they have to kick. Where's that going? Well taken in by Jared Payne. He's got men outside him. Good pass to Paul Marshall. Little missed move by him. Here's McCluskey.
Roll away!
Good tackle by Nick Cudd. Pienaar. Payne. Henderson. Oh, what a run by Henderson. Knocked back on the Dragons side, and that's into a little bit of space. That was a bit unfortunate. Try number 6 for Ulster was looking pretty good. Back goes Marshall. Has a go himself. Needs to release though. And Pienaar back at scrum half. Here's Jackson outside his 22. Payne needed that pass to be at Moraka. That's a good pass. And look who's out wide. Darren Cave. Chip and chase. Foot on the gas by Cave. Oh, good pick up by Cave. Slings it back inside. Knocked back into a Dragon's hand. Matthew Putner managed to cover back. Ulster doing everything but getting that 6th try. That's into space. There's still time. Payne over halfway. Has Jackson with him. Says come inside. Good pass. Well taken by McElwain. Was he held? Here's Doyle. I'll tell you something. The crowd are fairly getting value for money this evening. Payne. Ian Henderson. Well tackled. Payne again. Pienaar, I should say. Jackson. Robbie Dyack. Jackson. Muller. Thought about between the legs, I think, and maybe just have been nudged forward. Just a knock on there.
I think there's 30 players out there who are very happy the referee has blown his whistle. There's a lot of guys down, hands on knees, just sucking in oxygen. But what a fantastic passage of play. And it's the intent that's there. But if you kick loosely to Jared Payne, you really can pay the price at times. And Darren Cave's unlucky there. He's tried to go for the instinctive pass inside and it's been slapped down, but lots of entertainment for the crowd here.
Number 10 and number 4, blue, please.
On the left, very familiar figure of
10 and 4.
Another veteran, Rob Sidoli, with more than 40 Welsh caps, so dating back to the South African game in 2002. And on is coming number 22, who's Lewis Roebling, coming on for his 15th league game from the Welsh under-20 international. Stephen Jones is going off, I'm sorry to say, injured, and coming off is number 4, Matthew Screech. So Rob Sidoli is on, and Lewis Roebling is on.
All right. Okay.
Well, that's a little bit unfortunate for Stephen Jones, having to leave the field injured.
Time on. There's your mark. Knock up by white, blue scrum.
4 tries in the first half for Ulster, 2 by Tommy Bowe, 1 by Ruan Pienaar, a penalty try. In the second half, Sean Doyle got across the opposition line. And 5 well-struck conversions by Paddy Jackson. Bit of pressure coming through from Ulster, but the Dragons get it away. This is Lewis Roebling. Ooh, did he knock that on? Jared Payne, he did. And they've made a change in the front row as well. Hugh Gustafson, who's can alternate between hooker and prop, has come on for Rhys Thomas. Doesn't happen too often, does it?
Nah, just a horrible bounce. We've seen a few of those this evening. The ball tending not to sit up. It sort of kicked in and spun quite hard with a lot of top spin on it. And Jared's just been unlucky there. Maybe he should have gone with the foot and tried to trap it as opposed to pick it up with his hands.
So might be making a replacement themselves. More about that as and when.
Bind! Set!
Referee not happy. The assistant on the far side has called his attention to something that's going on over there between Callum Black
lads.
And
let's get your feet a little bit
Duncan
closer to
Bell.
you, okay? Keep your head above your hips.
And a shrug of the shoulders and a smile from Duncan Bell, who's been there, seen it and done it. Hasn't played competitive rugby for a couple of years. He's been doing a bit of coaching with the junior side.
He's not getting any smaller, the big man, either.
As my late mother would say wonderfully, every stitch seems to be doing its duty.
Bind! Set!
Good crisp commands there. Wayne Evans pops it in. Ulster got a good squeeze on. That's good work by Ricky Lutton. What a good scrum by Ulster, and up come the front row of the Dragons, and Ricky Lutton deserves a huge amount of credit for that scrum. He really has come through well. A lot of great effort by the entire front 5 and indeed the entire 8, but it really starts in the front row. Now watch what Lutton does. He's nice and square, and he stays square, and he puts the squeeze on, and there's no option for the Dragons but to come up.
Alan Clark sitting beside us will be rubbing his hands. Great body position, you say, Jim, from Ricky Lutton, keeping the hips below the shoulders, getting the power transfer coming up and through, and forcing his opposition number to stand up. And once he stands up, he's only going one way, and that's backwards.
You're on the mark, okay? Thank you.
Well, Tom Court is coming on. Like Johan Muller and John Afoa on the home stretch as far as his Ulster career is concerned. Off to London Irish at the end of this season, and he and his charming wife Kath has done so much with, particularly to help all the overseas wives and girlfriends to settle into Northern Ireland. He'll be missed. They will both be missed. Pienaar, there's McCluskey, revelling in his first Ulster cap, I'm sure. Sean Doyle, well released. Paddy Jackson. Pienaar read that nicely. Where's he going? David McElwain. And Ulster have contrived to lose it. Just the finishing touches which were there in the first half have deserted Ulster a little bit. They should have had even more daylight between themselves and the Dragons, who found a big space. Payne, no knock forward this time. Scruffy old kick from Jared Payne, wasn't it?
The sidestep was better than the kick. Again, a young David McElwain, he'll be disappointed there. Nice option coming inside, but the ball security has to be of primacy in this game. Once you have it, you can't afford to turn over ball cheaply. All well and good if you're 38 points to 3 up against an average Dragon side, but in the big games later on, Ulster have to treat the ball as if they can't give it away. It's too easily coughed up in that situation there.
Yeah, and Jones has come on for the Dragons, and Ulster bringing on another replacement. I'm a feeling it's Mike McComish is coming on, so there'll be a bit of readjusting. Paddy Jackson has gone off, so I think Sean Doyle might be posted out onto the wing. Well, it's all happening out there. Well taken in the meantime. Wayne Evans, Roebling, straight through to Pat Leach. Wayne Jones again. Good take by big Corey Hill. Wayne Evans. Dragons coming back into this game a little bit more. Nice little transfer, well taken on by Ian Jones, just on the park. Evans. Well set up by the men in blue. Roger Wilson not buying that attempted dummy. Wayne Evans. Good defence by Ulster. They'll not want to have their line crossed this evening. They probably want to get back down and score another try or two. Gone off the boil a wee bit, and they've given away the penalty. Taken quickly by Evans. This could be interesting. Nick Cudd on from the start. Good defence once again by Ulster. Duncan Bell. Lovely hands by the giant prop. This is going to be a try, perhaps. And as he got over the line, the touch judge has a good look at it. And very close by Ross Wardle. Looking for his 7th try in Dragons colours. And that might just concentrate Ulster's minds a little bit, Tony.
I don't think there's too much doubt about that. I think he's clearly got it down.
Okay,
but again, yeah, Ulster just falling off the pace, sitting in the back foot, happy to defend the outside shoulder. But a great set of hands from Duncan Bell in the middle of the field there.
Ooh, well now that was brought down short. And now did he carry it over? Was there a second movement there?
I think it's
you can't really see it from this angle. He came a little bit short. McElwain and Doyle between them. Now there, that's short.
Momentum just takes him over, Jim, doesn't it?
Momentum, I don't think there's a second movement, so momentum might have taken him over. But that angle is not the conclusive one. This is more like it. McElwain and Doyle there. Now if we just slow that one down, that is maybe just touching the whitewash, but there's not much more than a coat of paint in it. And I have a feeling that might just be a try. The Dragons think so, because Rhys Jones is shaping up to take the conversion.
Hi, Lloyd.
All right, Pete, go ahead.
You may award the try.
Thanks very much, pal.
Peter Ferguson says the try is good, and the Dragons have got their first try, and they are now only 30 points adrift. Jones, he's pulled that across the face of the posts. Well, it's a much more even second half, this one, isn't it? Ulster well ahead at the interval, and now they've conceded their first try of the evening. Lovely bit of passing there, and Cudd's pass was perfect. But Wardle had to do a lot, didn't he?
He did have to do a lot. I suppose, in fairness, Sean Doyle's been asked to play on the right wing, and he's been caught probably ball watching inside, which has just given Wardle a yard, 2.5 yards outside of him. And any winger at this level has to be able to score those, and he's just about squeezed over, but well deserved, nicely taken.
Time on.
Corey Hill has gone off for what I think is a blood replacement, and although Matthew Screech had been replaced by Rob Sidoli because it's a blood replacement, he's allowed to come back on. Well, there's a bit of a hop and a skip in the Dragon step at the moment, and this is Matthew Screech up to his own 10-metre line. Wayne Evans, Nick Cudd, who gave the scoring pass.
Stay there, 7, please. Thank you.
Well positioned by David McElwain. Now he needs to be smart about this. Not sure that running into Rob Sidoli was smart, but has he made it available? He has. Payne in the outside half position. Tom Court.
Blue, let him go!
Takes 3 men in blue to bring him down. Pienaar has a little glance to see what's available down that narrow side. Well, surely Pat Leach was offside, playing Ruan Pienaar.
Too tight for the ruck, spread out.
Saw a little glance just a few minutes ago of the Ulster bench, and glad to see that Luke Marshall was sitting among his teammates and looking pretty comfortable. So it may just have been that little stray boot that caught him in the side of the head, which was just worrying Ulster a little bit. So I'm pretty confident he's going to be fine. This big fella's put in a pretty decent shift this evening, hasn't he, Tony?
Yeah, he's been asked to play a different position, maybe in the second row, where we're more accustomed to seeing him at 6, and certainly we maybe haven't seen as much ball in hand as what Ian Henderson would normally get, or what Ian Henderson would like to see, but he's done the dark and dirty stuff well. He's covered a lot of ground, chased a lot of kicks, tackled well, and certainly put in the effort.
That's only the 5th time this season that he started a game for Ulster. Pienaar. Payne had to check a little bit, but made it good. Good strong hand up by Payne. Gets it away now. Doyle just didn't maybe have the gas, but Payne showing them all a clean pair of heels, and Johan Muller says to him, I know you're not a wing 3/4 of the man or born, but 9 out of 10 for effort anyway.
I think he was worried about the hamstring going there, but no, again, great intent and purpose by Payne, beating his man on the outside, and For Tommy Bowe, it would have been a beautifully measured pass. Sean Doyle just didn't either have the pace or the reach just to be able to pull that in.
I mean, Payne just glided, and then with that vicious handoff, he accelerated, and that was very nearly another Ulster try.
Lads, keep coming. And you go.
Gustafsson throws. Well, again, full marks to the Dragons for a bit of enterprise. That's good tackling work by Ulster's hooker, Rob Herring.
Stay on.
Ball back on the blue side. Now they're forced to kick. And we'll give Ulster the line out. It's Lewis Roblin, only 22 years of age, played in the very good Welsh Junior World Cup side a couple of summers ago.
3.
And Ricky Lutton is leaving the field, having had a pretty good evening in the front row for Ulster. And it's nice to see Adam Macklin back playing again at Ravenhill. Has had very, very little rugby in the last year and a half because of injury. So Ricky Lutton goes off, and Adam Macklin is now 24 coming on. Takes his position behind Robbie Dyack at the tail of the Ulster lineout, where he used that upper body strength of this to lift, perhaps. No, Henderson does it, and it wasn't straight. Well, those are things that will really frustrate coaches, and Mark Anscombe just chittering away to himself and his fellow coaches about that. There's little fundamental errors. There's no real need for it, because Ulster's lineout's been good, Tony.
It has been. It's been very good, and as you say, Ulster just struggling to basically, get out of second or third gear in this half, and that's a cast-iron opportunity and a great field position to give some first phase attacking ball to a back line with plenty of space in front of them, and it's the basics that fall apart.
Crouch!
Well, there they are.
All right, listen. I've asked you to get the feet below the hips. You've got to do it for me, okay? Well, you've got to pull it back then.
Here's a work, put that in.
Duncan Bell.
Go, boys.
Crouch!
Hello, Sparky.
Bind! Set!
That's still not steady.
Okay.
Only front row survivor from the start of the game is Rob Herring.
Right, lads, let's get the bind on the
I
body.
don't see any side of Niall
Thank you.
Annette coming on. I can see Lewis Stevenson warming up on the far side for Ulster, so he may well come on and give Ian Henderson a bit of a respite, although it may well be Johan Muller. We'll have to wait and see.
In and bind.
31-3 to Ulster at the
Right.
interval. 38-8 to Ulster, so 7
Bind.
points for them in the second half, 8 to the visitors.
Set! Yeah.
Dragons who claim that they're winning the second half, which of course they are, but it's what matters. Here we go again. Here come the Dragons. Ian Jones, the replacement back row forward, Wayne Evans. A wee bit of a gap there. Nicely done by Roblin. It's pinched by Ulster in the tackle. Well played by McCluskey. And he threw it away rather carelessly. The referee playing advantage for a Dragons knock-on as Ian Henderson makes a wee bit of ground. Well, the game is really broken up, Tony. It's scrappy and it's messy.
Yeah, you find that with these sort of substitutions and batches of them in the second half, and the game loses some purpose and intensity, and in that phase of play it was almost more like basketball. And also just need to not slow this down, but just reset their values here for the last 10 minutes. They should be saying, right, first of all, let's play on the right part of the pitch. Let's minimise any errors that we're going to do. Let's be accurate and try and get some intensity back into the game, because in the second half their intensity in particular has dropped off, and the Dragons, in fairness to them, have stepped up and have shown a lot more intent in the second half.
Crouch!
That's the halfway line. 10 minutes remaining. According to the electronic clock, Ulster leading by 38 points to 8. Bonus point in the bag. Free kick against the Dragons for early engagement. Ruan Pinar telling Wayne Evans to clear off, I think. Duncan Bell just happy to get a wee rest. Ulster can kick the touch if they want. It was a free kick, though. If they kick straight into touch, it'll be a Dragons line out. So Ulster have gone for the scrum. Mike McComish packing down on the near side of the Ulster scrum. Lewis Stevenson is ready to come on. So Ruan Pinar is going off. Now this is going to be very interesting. So who goes out onto the wing? Because Paul Marshall will go to scrum half. Jared Payne is in the outside half position, and Mike McComish goes out onto the wing. Well, this is an extraordinary Ulster lineup, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of, the plot thickens, but certainly the boots that Mike McComish is wearing, I think, are more built for back play than they are for forward play. Very bright.
That's about a dozen years or so ago that as a fifth former he played outside half for Campbell College in the Ulster Schools Cup final. Paul Marshall. Penalty against the Dragons. Spine being loosened by the Dragons prop, Duncan Bell. So no Jackson and no Pinar. It's Payne with the kick. And that's not a bad one. That's given Ulster a decent position.
Yeah, just Ulster we just need some intensity, Jim. We need some ball. We need some vim and vigour as well. And I think Jared Payne's expression there gave away a little bit. He's getting frustrated himself and dropping the shoulders. You know, what we need now is a platform, a couple of targets to hit and get some front phase ball, front foot, fast ball, and let's get these backs back into the game.
Not nailing that straight on and put in a good throw. Ian Henderson, Marshall, Dyack. The blue man in the way, but the referee is happy enough. Marshall gets it away nicely. Here's Niall Annette. Marshall again, good flat ball taken by Stuart McCluskey, who's shown great strength this evening. Payne, McElwain. Well, there wasn't much wrong with the pass, and unfortunately David McElwain couldn't hang on to it.
Yeah, and I think the problem as well, once you make one or two errors, it starts to creep into the psyche a little bit as well, and suddenly the ball becomes much smaller and the hands become much smaller as well, and there's no real excuse for that.
Fumble by David McElwain, who very nearly got his first Ulster try at the start of the second half. Dragons player down injured, I'm sorry to have to report. So Dr. Michael Webb is on. Don't think it's too serious. Well, they were ecstatic at half-time and even more ecstatic at the start of the second half when Ulster got try number 5. But since then, well, Ulster did a lot of try scoring in that first half as Ruan Pinar set home by Darren Cave, got the first one, and then a wonderful move back inside to Tommy Bowe, possibly salivating at the prospect of reaching the opposition line. And what a dive to finish by Tommy Bowe. Of course, spent 4 years in the Ospreys, and here's Cave again, and back inside to Bowe, and the sidestep on a bit of pace and determination all over Tommy Bowe's face. Rory Scholes very nearly got his first Ulster try, held up just at the start of the second half, but the ball was quickly released and they were queuing up out wide, and it went to Sean Doyle for try number 2 in the Ulster jersey for the Australian.
I think I mentioned as well, Jim, for Rory Scholes, he's looked very accomplished out there this evening, and whenever you take the roll call ahead of him, Bowe, Trimble, Michael Allen, Craig Gilroy, the cupboard is certainly full as opposed to being empty.
Well, alas for the Dragons, they've lost the services of Lewis Evans. And Jevon Groves is coming back on. And it's going to be a scrum to the Dragons. Well, certainly Ulster have put the memories of a pretty dismal performance a week ago, or last Sunday in Treviso, behind them, and I think the crowd probably expected it 36-3 up or 38-3 up. They were going to kick on and make it a half century, but it hasn't happened. Here come the Dragons. Wayne Evans, Groves missed out. Here's Rob Sidoli. Good tackle by Stuart McCluskey. Up quickly, Ulster, Robbie Dyack right in the face there. Jack Dixon is on for the Dragons. Evans kicks. well covered by McElwain. Lost his footing. Lewis Stevenson at a scrum half. Well done. Dyack. That's well done by Dyack as well. Now here comes McCluskey. Got Sean Doyle outside him. Good run by McCluskey. Well, had he kept the momentum, he might well have been in there. Good support as ever by Gerald Payne. Paul Marshall. Dyack. Henderson. Up to the Dragons 22. Bit of hurdling from Paul Marshall. Well taken on by Adam Macklin. Good strength by the former Methodist College skipper. Held on too long on the tackle though. 5 minutes remaining. Ulster would like to trouble the scoreboard a little bit more. I think there's some a little bit of cramp there. Scruffy old kick. And it's going to be a Dragons line. Stuart McCluskey was the man with the cramp, and it was Lewis Roebling who got it away for the Dragons.
Lads, leave him alone in the air, please.
Referee just having a word with the Ulster forwards not to interfere with the Dragons. Person who's trying to take the ball in the air. This is Hugh Gustafson. Sidoli. Roebling. Now that's interesting. Around from the left side came Ross Wardle. Nick Cudd. Mr. very nearly intercepting. That look forward. Tackled by Lewis Stevenson, putting himself about as ever. Jack Dixon, that's gone loose. Going to be an Ulster scrum. Is there one more try from this Ulster side here just to send that crowd home even happier if possible?
You would like to think so, but whenever you Jared Payne at 10 and you have two back rows in the wing, it's potentially even going to come slightly more from infield, but certainly the intent is there. And with Marshall at 9, there's always something in the offing, isn't there, as well? He's always sniping, looking for that half break, and perhaps he's the man to give also that injection of pace that will put another score on the board.
Well, I don't think there's any reflection on their thoughts about the Ulster performance. That one or two people are leaving, probably just trying to get home a little bit earlier and maybe watch the replay.
Fine.
Adam Macklin on this side. As I said, good to see him back in an Ulster jersey. Good strike by Niall Annette. This is Paul Marshall. Nearly got himself caught. Payne. Well picked up by McElwain. Good strength now. He has to hang on to the ball, but not for too long. He's made it available. Marshall. Payne. Roger Wilson. McCluskey. Good pass. Niall Annette inside to Robbie Dyack. Not held, so he can place the ball, and he has placed it. Marshall. Payne. Muller. Cave managed to get it away. Mike McComish. Now he's not slow, Mike McComish. Tries to run over the opposition. Marshall in quickly. All a little bit flat. Payne. Muller. Oh, well done by Muller. Cave. Who's that going to go to? It's going to go to the opposition.
White, let it come! No.
Well, the ball is out there, and Ulster not really challenging, apart from Cave. Knocked forward, and Ulster get the put into the scrum. So there is maybe time, Tony.
Yeah, there's still time. You're just moving the ball from side to side, but without really any cutting threat out there in the wider channels. And Mike McComish had hands on the ball and maybe looked for the more physical option opposed to the defter option of the sidestep. He went for the Maori sidestep and tried to go straight through his man. And again, a good tackle by Pat Leach, who's certainly put his hand up tonight for the Dragons. He's been very, very effective defensively.
Well, there was the breakdown. Robbie Dyack, who's been involved all the way through. Good challenging at the breakdown. The Dragons complaining that there was an Ulster infringement, but referee Lloyd Linton said it was a Dragons knock forward. Clock has stopped, about a minute and a half remaining. Matthew Screech, who started and then went off and has come back on again because of a blood injury to his fellow second row Corey Hill, getting a bit of attention. Nothing more serious than a wounded boot.
Thank you.
Sean Doyle having a chuckle to himself.
Time on. White scrum.
Again, a little bit of a mention for the referee, and only his third competitive match. I think he's done very well. He's a good control. The players certainly know what they've stood with him, and there's been a reasonable flow to it as well, which has been a positive, certainly.
And the home crowd will be pleased that the scoreboard is reflecting an Ulster win.
Steady, steady.
It's just the last set piece of this entertaining game. Penalty against the Dragons, taken quickly by Marshall. No way through for him though. They need a scrum half. McComish fills in. Payne strong. Good support play by Lewis Stevenson. Muller's in there to help. Taken on by Niall Annette, getting a rare opportunity to show his paces. Marshall, Dyack. Across the 22, Doyle going in to help his fellow back row forward. Marshall, Annette.
Let it come, Blue.
Well, a wee bit laboured by Ulster. Ball now back on the Ulster side again. Here's Cave. Has a go himself. Threw it away. Well, I'm sure the Dragons will just want to clear this, or maybe they're trying to run it from deep. And if so, there's a chance that Ulster could counter-attack. McCluskey with a good tackle. Ulster are holding the ball up. Is there time for one scrum if the referee blows his whistle? Yes, there is. The first time this evening, actually, Tony, we've seen that choke attack well affected there by Ulster.
Reversal of concussion.
Yeah, McCluskey's done well again, hasn't he? He's a big man. He really fills that shirt, but nice to see somebody coming through the pathway from the Ravens and being given an opportunity. And he certainly, again, hasn't been found lacking. He's been purposeful with ball in hand. He's shown good defensive awareness. But defensively, he's been really, really solid in there. And he's set a stall out early. He's done the basic things well. He hasn't tried to be too flash, and he looks very much to the manner born.
Right, Jevon Groves has come back on the field.
Thank you.
So we've now played 80 minutes. This surely will be the last set piece of this game. Ulster had it done and dusted by half-time, and looks after the fifth try scored by Sean Doyle just a few minutes into the second half, as if they were going to run away with this, but they went off the boil.
Let's come to the left of it as well, Blue.
But one hopes that there's nobody injured, or certainly not seriously injured. Ulster have a break now, as we mentioned earlier.
Crouch!
Back here at Ravenhill in a fortnight's time for a pretty tough assignment against the Scarlets.
Set!
Get it in from the referee. Paul Markley does just that. Good solid Ulster scrum. Marshall, Jared Payne, back inside the cave, gets away, gets it to Henderson. Here goes Henderson. Strong run by Henderson. 5 meters away. Marshall, Payne. Pass wasn't perfect at all. Down round the knees of Robbie Dyack, and the referee says no. Sixth try for Ulster. They'll have to be content with 5, but it's their first bonus point win since round number 8. They were really done and dusted by the interval. Tries by Ruan Pienaar, a couple by Tommy Bowe, and a penalty try. All the tries converted by Paddy Jackson, who added the points to Sean Doyle's try, but back came the Dragons and got a try themselves. Ulster win it by 30 points, and they should at the very least stay in the top 3. And the final score here at Ravenhill, Ulster 38 and the Newport Gwent Dragons 8.
Well, this young man pretty much sums up how the Ulster fans are feeling tonight. A dominant display by the home team. 4 tries in the first half, including 2 by the returning Tommy Bowe. And they ease to a simple win with another try in the second half. 38 points to 8 is the final score. Bryn Cunningham and Andy Ward, well, the second half kind of faded, didn't it, after what was an excellent first half, always to be expected.
Yeah, we really hoped that they would push on and maybe get 50 or 60 points on the board, but I think we'll see that they left maybe 4 or 5 tries out there in that second half. They still showed a lot of good enterprise, some really good touches, and had to be a little bit more clinical, but the bodies were tired. You could see that a lot of guys were out on their feet. The ball was thrown around at every opportunity. There were a lot of substitutions made, and as a result of that, it got a little bit disjointed, but a very, very good performance from Ulster.
Good way to bounce back, Andy, after that disappointing display against Treviso last week.
Yeah, well, I think for 40 minutes was a good way to bounce back. But for me, I would be a little bit critical in the fact that we should really push on. We're coming to a difficult time of the season. We've got some very, very important games coming up. And once again, it is that international season as well, when it's very stop-start. But all in all, they'll be happy with their night's work, but there's a lot of work still to be done.
Okay, let's hear from the man of the match, Darren Cave.
Well, Darren, you've waited a while for one of these, 127 games, I think. Congrats.
Yeah, thanks very much. I've been giving Stephen Watson the studio and we're in a wild hard time, so it's nice to finally get one. I'm probably quite lucky they announced it 3 minutes before the end because they made a couple of mistakes at the end, but good pressure in the first half, great result.
And Tommy Bowe and you linking very nicely now that he's back.
I think Tommy's an absolute class act, and I think he can link with anyone. So I'm just happy to be the one playing with these boys, and trying to make each other look as good as we can.
A week off now, big positives to take out of that, looking ahead to the end of the season.
Yeah, I think this run of 4 games, we were looking for 4 wins. Obviously, one's called off. First 2 games, we weren't really sort of hitting our straps. That sort of leads us nicely for last run of the year.
Well done tonight. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Let's just make it clear, I have absolutely nothing to do with the man of the match. It is, of course, our pundit to pick that. Darren Cave, gentlemen, why tonight did he get that award?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm happy for him because he has been very close on a number of occasions. He's played brilliantly all season. Unfortunately, there's always been somebody else on that night that's played particularly well as well. But I thought tonight he was just exceptional in so many areas of the game. I mentioned before, he creates so many offload opportunities. He cuts very, very good lines. He does all the basic things very well, but most of all, he's just got a really good rugby brain. He knows when to pass, when to hold on. He knows where his support is all the time. You see here a lovely little kick. You notice there as well, outside of the foot, he knew that it would roll, it would come back on the angle to him as well. That's all little things that you don't always pick up on. Yeah. Very intelligent player.
And he created 2 of the tries in the first half as